Hello and welcome to this edition of Bison Talks Impact, coming to you by the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube. And of course, we will be showing this via Twitch as well. I'm your host, Bison, and I am joined today by the very special guest who is the host of Eurosport India, or the new Hindi language impact show called Pawani Pataka. He is, of course, Paul Burke. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, good to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And I'm actually really excited to talk to you because I'm always interested to find out all of the cool stuff that Impact does all over the world, even though, you know, I'm probably never going to see it. I'll never understand what's going on because obviously it's a Hindi language show that we're going to talk about today. But I'm excited. I'm always excited to see some of the cool stuff that Impact are getting up to all over the world, because let's face it, Impact is a worldwide promotion, even though some people seem to think it isn't, but it certainly is.
Yes.
Paul, before we get talking about this fantastic project you're involved with Impact, I want to get to know you. Now, you know, you go by the moniker of The Problem. Can you tell us a little bit about you and how you got to be known as The Problem? So
I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember, but ever since, like, you know, I never thought I would actually do it. I was like, always, you know, I'm behind the guardrail. I want to be a fan. I want to watch everything. And then one day in around 2017, I was on social media, and you know how when you go to an app and then you go to another app, but like it knows what you were searching or something. So a school popped up right by where I live. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And literally 50 minutes away from me, a school popped up, and they were just open, and it was opened by Ken Anderson, who wrestled in Impact before, Molly Holly, Sean Devari, and I was like, whoa, it's only an hour away from me, and why not? Let's give it a shot, you know, not thinking anything. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, go. I just want to go check it out. I never been to I never been to that close to a ring, so let's, you know, that'd be fun. So the next day, I went and instantly hooked. I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I was in college at the time and didn't tell my family. I signed up, and I think I signed up for like a year. I was like, let's see if I could do it in a year. And within 3 months, I was picking up stuff. I remember when I took my first bump, I said, nope, I don't want to do this. I'm going home. And then a week later, I'm like, I wonder what the boys are up to. I wonder what they're doing. So then I went back, and yeah, from there, I think it took me about a year or two to really pick it up. And then since 2018, I've just been working shows independently almost everywhere.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned Ken Anderson there, of course, Mr.
Anderson.
Yeah, we all know about Mr. Anderson. He's fantastic. Yep. And of course, obviously, Molly Holly, an absolute wrestling legend. And a sweetheart, exactly.
Yeah.
Sean Devari. Now, you know, we've recently seen him on Impact. You know, he's doing a few things. I know he's been doing a little bit behind the scenes as well, which is fantastic. You know, and he's one of those guys, I think, that you know, he sort of kind of goes by the wayside a little bit, but man, he is a wrestler.
Underrated.
He is one hell of a wrestler.
Very underrated. I feel like Sean's very underrated. His ring psychology is top notch. I definitely pick his brain whenever I can.
Oh, mate, I don't blame you. He's fantastic wrestler. So you're an independent wrestler based in Minneapolis.
Yes.
And we sort of kind of like, you know, talked about, you know, your roots, where you came from, how you got into wrestling. But the interesting thing here is, how did you get involved in this relatively new show, Pawani Pataka? I'm hoping I'm saying this right.
Yes.
And can you confirm what the name means in English?
Gotcha. So the name means in English, Palwani means wrestling, and then Pataka means firecracker, so like a firework. So it's wrestling fireworks. And how I got it started to the show was Rhino did a show in Minneapolis. Rhino, who wrestles for Impact, he did a show in Minneapolis, and one of the guys that Rhino traveled with, me and his name is Nate Block. He does extra work for Impact as well. Nate Block reached out to me saying Impact is looking to do a show for India, and I know you're Indian. Do you speak the language? And I'm like, yes, I do. And then he got me in touch with Bhupinder Gujjar, who wrestles for Impact Wrestling. And the first phone call with Bhupinder Gujjar, we instantly clicked. We speak the same language. We're from the same culture. Instantly clicked, and apparently they were looking for people to host this show, and it was Bhupinder's decision, yes or no. And he was like, "You're like the 20th person I'm talking to, and I have a good feeling about this." And he said yes instantly on the for after that first phone call. So the first official show that I did with Impact was at Victory Road. We covered Victory Road, and I believe when we did that, Josh Matthews helped big time, produced it, and we clicked off right away. It was like there was like a chemistry where it's just not in front of the cameras. It's just because me and Bhupinder get along so well, just in real life that it showed that we're working, but we're having fun, if that makes sense.
That is fantastic, because at the end of the day, I think one of the great things about the way Matthew Raywell and Tom Hannafan work on the flagship Impact Weekly show,
yes.
And whenever, but to be fair, just working in general, they do seem to have this kind of bond, this kind of friendship, this kind of way of communicating to each other.
Yep.
Almost like it's a bit like the all-knowing man nod. When you've got your best mate, something happens, you do the whole mate, and they know exactly what you're thinking.
Definitely.
And I think that is a very important part of being a commentary team. You can never be good and fluid and be able to put yourself across or put the other person across, if you don't have if you don't have a connection. So
exactly,
it's fantastic to hear that you have got that kind of connection with Bhupinder, who is, quite frankly, a bit of a badass himself.
I tell him all the time. Like, every time I see him in the ring, he's getting better and better.
It's fantastic that you guys really. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. So let's talk about the format of this show that you and Bhupinder are now sort of kind of working together on this project. Now, it sounds to me a little bit like that, the former Explosion show that we used to get on Impact Plus app. Is it a similar format to that, where we sort of we get a fresh look at this past Impact, and then we maybe get a fresh match, and then maybe a bit from the past? Is that the kind of thing?
So it's 1 hour show. We host it, and then we commentate over the matches. So basically, we cover everything that happens on a normal episode of Impact, but we won't put the full match. We'll put 5 minutes of the match. We talk about it, and if there's a promo segment, we'll talk about the promo segment. Mainly just to get the stories across, and then every week we show one exclusive match from the entrances to the final bell. That one exclusive match that's at the end of the show, and then we end the show with that exclusive match.
Fantastic. It sounds great. And now we talked a little bit that you obviously had a phone call with Bhupinder. So, I mean, do you have any, and you've obviously communicated with Josh Matthews. Have you spoken to Scott D'Amore?
Oh, yeah.
Or did he get involved in this?
Definitely. Scott's super, seeing that he's the head honcho, he's the boss, he's super cool. Super, I could go up to him. The last conversation we had, I was like, hey, why don't we have a YouTube channel for Impact India or something like that? And he's like, yeah, man, let's get on it. He's very approachable. Like, I could go to him with any idea I have, and he's like, yeah, let's talk to the production team, or let's talk to, the people in the right, in the power, like people that control that. Let's talk to them. And he's very, he'll listen. He'll listen no matter like if you're a wrestler, a backstage personnel, or he'll listen.
Okay. Sounds really good to me. Now, Impact have always had a pretty big following internationally in the UK, Europe, Africa, and especially within the Indian market through Eurosport, and Impact's great relationship that's been set up with Warner Brothers Discovery seems to be getting better now, especially with introducing more content like this for the Indian fan base to consume every single week. What is it like being in a position to really push and promote the Impact talent and product, and do it using your, the native Hindi language?
Yes. One thing, like, I think I didn't realize how big this was until I talked to my family about it, which it's like really emotional talking about it because I never envisioned myself as someone representing my country. Like as I said, like I'm just a wrestler who happens to be Indian that wrestles, right? But I remember like just getting the love when I got here. So I'm in India currently. When I got here, just getting the love for like, oh, you're working with Impact, but not only are you working with Impact, but you're representing us. You know, you're representing the native language in India, which is Hindi, and getting to do that and representing my culture. That like, hey, there is an audience here for Impact. They're, like and they're hungry, and they're like, any content they can get, they want it. So it's a proud, I guess, like I'm kind of proud of it, and then it's another toolbox for me to add it, or it's another thing that I could add to my toolbox that, hey, not only am I a wrestler, but I could do this, whether that's in Hindi or English, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, you're a five-tool player. That's what they say, isn't it, in the game?
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. So I tell you what, Paul, it's been fantastic meeting you today. I mean, is there anything specific you want to talk about with regards to this show, with regards to where it's going? Where can we find it? Where can we find out a little bit more about you? What do you want to tell us about it?
So the show, my goal, my end goal is hopefully with this show, not just this one show. Maybe it's a show that we have another show for the Indian audience. Maybe it's another show for the UK audience, or just like, why stop with one show? Let's go all the way. Maybe we could come to India and do a show here. That's that's always on the table. Maybe the YouTube thing that I was talking about. That's obviously, and then at some point, whenever the timing is right, I also want to get in the ring, and I want to do it for Impact.
Fair play. That sounds a fantastic goal, and I appreciate your candidness there as well. And I hope Scott's listening. This guy Paul wants the problem. He wants to get in the ring, and it would be great. I can imagine a really cool segment where I don't know, where you get pulled in from the commentary box or something. And all of a sudden you turn out to be a badass wrestler, which would be really cool.
What's funny is
loads of good scenarios.
So what's funny is when we cover the show on commentary, me and Bhupinder all have this skit that we do whenever we cover Bhupinder's segments or matches, and he's getting beat down, and Bhupinder's like, "Paul, where were you at? Why didn't you help me?" And I was like, "Oh, I was too busy in the back catering, And we have this funny skit that we always do whenever we cover his matches or his segments.
No, that sounds cool. That sounds really good. Well, it's been amazing finding out more on what Impact are doing for the international markets, and of course, especially the Indian market today, talking to you, Paul. Would you like to let the TNI tribe know where we can keep up to date with all things going on with the problem, Paul Virt, on the socials? And of course, where can we find, let me get it right, Palwani Pataka. Oh my God, is that good? I'm getting the hang of it.
You're basically, you can speak Hindi now. So Palwani Pataka, right now it's airing on Eurosport, but hopefully in the coming weeks and months, I'm trying to have them put all the episodes up on the YouTube channel. So once it airs on Eurosport, maybe we could do a deal where a week or two later it airs on YouTube, because not everybody can watch it on Eurosport, or maybe on YouTube everybody can watch it, right? So, and then you can, and on social media, I'm mostly on Instagram more, but I'm just trying to get the hang of Twitter. I'm not really a Twitter person, but on both of the ads are the Paul Virt. So that's for Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, I'm not really on Facebook. So yeah.
Okay, no worries. Well, it's been fantastic getting to know you, Paul. It really has. But don't forget to follow the Bison on Twitter at Lord Bison 45. Make sure that you follow the Total Nonstop Impact Network at We Talk Impact. Again, Twitter, Insta, Facebook, wherever wherever you do your socials, we're definitely there. And we're also available on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite Impact related shows, because that's what we do. We talk Impact Wrestling. That's what we do. And if you want Impact Wrestling information, if you want to talk about Impact, you want to meet the great stars of Impact, you want to talk to the fantastic Indian commentary team, then you can meet them here on Bison Talks Impact or We Talk Impact. Please make sure you leave me a thumbs up, a comment to let me know how I'm doing, and feel free to add your thoughts on today's guest, the incredible Paul Virt. Take care, everybody, and until next time, this was Bison Talks Impact with my very special guest, the problem, Paul Virt.